Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, last session we discussed about working with all pipes, custom pipes, how we can handle, right? Next, after understanding about custom pipes, one more example I will give you on custom pipe, how the custom pipes will work. Okay. So, in custom pipes, example is shown here. Yeah. Already I given how to create a pipe for sentence case, sentence case pipe. One more example we will see how we can deal with a sorting pipe. We will just try to create a sorting pipe. So we need to understand how pipe parameters are used, how we can pass the parameters. Actually, this is an example of custom pipe with parameters. So here in this project, so I will add a new pipe here. Already there is a pipe called sentence pipe. Yesterday we created this sentence pipe. Now we will use a shortcut technique. Through CLI command you can add ng generate pipe and you can give pipe name sorting. So skip this. You can manually add, which we done earlier. Manually we added, but now you can add through command. So the command will allow you to easily add the pipe. So I will open this pipes folder location in terminal. Open in integrated terminal, and here we can run the command ng generate pipe, and so pipe and sorting. Skip test. We are defining that. So we are creating a new pipe called sorting. That is the sorting pipe we created. Now automatically the logic wires up into this. Automatically you can see the sorting pipe already have this logic. So just what you need to do is you write the functionality. This we done manually earlier. Now we have to just add the functionality. Where we have to write the functionality, functionality is written through which one? Transform. This transform method here, first it is expecting value. What is the value you want to pass? So I will take the value here. Value is nothing but I will put a collection. And the collection, I will make it as string type array. That means whenever a string array is passed, it will sort and display. So we can have union of types. Already I told you number array, string array, both you can write. Now here I want this collection to be displayed in order. Then what we are doing here, first we are accessing collection and we will keep it sort. And after sort, just we have to return the collection. The collection is returned. That means what this transform function is doing, taking your data, changing the data into sorted array, and it is returning that sorted array. A sort is a array function which is used for sorting the data. It's a general JavaScript array method. Now, here in sorting, two concepts are there. We want to sort reverse or we want to sort ascending, descending. How to decide, how to mention whether it is ascending or descending? We will use here a parameter called reverse. And this reverse parameter, we will set it here to a Boolean. Boolean means it is a true or false. And here we will write a condition. Condition is nothing but, so if reverse is equal to true, then first it have to get the collection sorted. After that, it should get the collection reverse. That means descending order, and then it should return that particular collection. Why? Because actually array reverse is not descending order. Array have a reverse option. In JavaScript, array reverse is reverse order of data. Reverse order of data means last item will come first. So that means, for example, we are having data A and C, D and B. Now reverse order means what? It will be B, D, C, A. It's not descending order. Then how to keep in descending order? First, what we have to do, we need to sort this list. After that, on that sorted list, we have to apply reverse. Then it will be descending order. That is the technique we need to follow. And else, if it is not true, then it should return this one. That means it should just return sort. So if it is reverse, in reverse order, otherwise in normal sorted order, it should return the data. This is a simple combination of parameter. Means we created a pipe and the pipe is having some parameter called reverse. You can have multiple parameters also. Now I am just going into this. Let's add some public and cities. Cities is an array. It is a string type array. In that we added some cities. So here adding some cities and like this. And here these cities I want to display in this. I want to display. I'll just clean up all this and I will keep here an ordered list. First, we will put list item. We will print the cities as it is. So ng for let item of cities. And we need to print the item. This is going to print all the cities in the same order how they are. So we will set here. So it is going to display all how they are. Means how you stored in that, in the same way it is going to display. How you defined there, in the same way it is going to display. Now I want to sort this. If I want to sort this, now we created our own, I will keep a heading sorted. So how do we do that? Here an ordered list again, list item, ng what for let item of collection. Collection is cities. And we need to keep the item. It is going to display in the same way. So no change. But we will apply a pipe on this. We will apply a pipe and the pipe is sorting. And it is showing error because every parameter you defined is mandatory. That means in a pipe, if it is having parameter, every parameter is mandatory. In TypeScript, already I explained. Function parameters are compulsory. If you want to make any parameter optional, then what to do when you are creating the pipe? So you have to keep this parameter as optional, then you can keep question. So that is a null reference, right? Already we learned in TypeScript how to keep optional parameter. Now there is no problem. Now it is not necessary and it will display B, C, D, H, M. It will display sorted. Suppose I want the first one also sorted, then here I will apply what is that sorting, and it will display that in ascending order B, C, D, H. But I want in descending, then here we can add a colon. Pipe parameters are passed with a colon, and here we will put what Boolean reverse is expecting Boolean true or false. I will pass true. If I pass true, then it will be in reverse order to display here. What is it? It is not returning reverse. Let's check. So collection. It is true. It is have to return reverse order. Somewhere logical problem is the logical issue is there. Let's check. Now else is working always. We'll do one thing here. We will not put this in else. Return. First it will do what? Collection dot sort and return collection. It is returning that sorted collection. It is fine. Else have to return collection dot reverse. This is I think this is repeating. Let's check. Where it is repeating. Same collection is repeating here. We will keep as what? False and true. Same. Okay, it is working fine. We'll keep as what? False. Okay, fine. Actually, nothing but what I am doing is I copied the same. In the next one also, I am using same item. That means what it is doing, it is using same overriding. So that means same iteration is overriding. So that is the reason it is displaying the latest, right? So we have two options now. What is it? Sorting is false. If sorting is false, that means it is in which order? Ascending. Sorting, actually it is not sorting false. In sorting is okay. What is false? This false is whether you want reverse. Reverse true or false. So if it is false, then it will display in ascending order. If it is true, if it is true, then it is going to display in descending order. It will display in descending order. That means this value belongs to which property? Reverse. Sometimes people have an habit of writing like this also. We can write reverse. Reverse, what is the value of reverse? Reverse value is what? True or false. But already that reverse is a parameter. It is just accepting what? Only true or false. So here we need to pass only a Boolean value. It is true or false. Then automatically it will display that and show. So if it is false, then it is going to display in ascending order. And if it is true, it is going to display in descending order. So this is a custom pipe, and with what parameters? We have parameterized pipe. That means we can have our own parameters. So same concept example I will give. So yesterday we designed one pipe for sentence case, and this is the pipe for which purpose? Sorting. You are sorting the data, then you can apply by using this technique. Here, what is advantage? We generated the pipe by using command, so that I don't need to register it in app module, because already command will register in the app module. Now you can have multiple parameters also if you want. You can have several parameters. There can be custom and there can be predefined pipes with parameterless or parameter. If they are parameterized, parameters are passed by using a colon. And parameter can be any type. It can be number, it can be string or Boolean or any type, right? So these are all you need to know about pipes. So we have learned two concepts. One is built-in pipes, another one custom pipes. Here some important questions are there related to pipes. What are the regular questions asked in interviews? In interviews, some regular questions related to pipes, what they ask. First important question at basic level, you know what is a pipe. So what is the role of pipe in Angular? Answer, you know, that is the basic thing we learned. What is a pipe? So pipe is a class. Pipe is a class. So which transforms the data. Pipe is a class which transforms the data. So it is a class which is used for transforming the data. You can transform the data by using pipe. So changing the format of data is nothing but transforming the data. Another important is, what is parameterized pipe? Parameterized pipe. It is nothing but pipe can be parameterized, parameterless, which performs same functionality every time. What is the purpose of parameter? A parameterized pipe can change the functionality. So a parameterized pipe can change the functionality according to situation. Because you know, already you learned in general JavaScript, parameters are used for modifying a function. Why a function need parameters? A function need parameters in order to modify the functionality. So parameterized pipe can change the functionality according to situation. Generally, a pipe will do the same work every time. If you want to modify its functionality, we need parameterized. Another important question asked in interviews is what is chaining? Chaining of pipes. What is chaining of pipes is a very frequent question asked in interviews. Chaining of pipes is nothing but it is the process. It is the process of defining multiple pipes to data. Defining multiple pipes to data. Can you tell one example how you can do that? It is not possible for every pipe. That means, can you tell the combination of two pipes which you can use? Combination of two pipes that you can use. You learned built-in pipes. In that, tell me two pipes which you can use as a combination. Can I use uppercase, lowercase as combination? No, you can't use. Only one will be there, na? Either uppercase or lowercase. Can I use number currency as combination? Number currency you can use combination. What is use? Currency will apply. Number and currency both are same. Currency have a currency symbol. Can I use number and uppercase combination? You can't use. That is why it is interview question. Right? So tell me the pipe which you can use as combination. Sorting is our own created pipe. Sorting is our own created pipe. It is not built-in pipe now. Actually, you can use the combinations like this. Suppose I am using ng for and let item of what collection. Now what here we are doing, we are reading the values here, collection. Here in this collection, so we are applying a pipe. So I am applying key value. That means it will get key and value. On that I am applying slice. That means it will not read all keys and values. It will read only the keys and values that are present between 0 to 2. And I can apply uppercase. Understood? That means those keys and values are presented in uppercase. We can do now. That means key and value means it will return keys and values. All keys and values will return. No, I want only first two keys and values. Then we can use what? Slice. I want in uppercase to present them. Because keys and values are string na? Then uppercase is what? Convert them into capital letters and display. That is chaining of pipes. Right? That means you can use pipes with a combination, but all pipes cannot be used with combination. So the process of using this is chaining of pipes. Right? Another important question asked in interviews, what is a pure and impure pipe? That I already told you one point. That means what is a pure pipe? A pure pipe will not change the value. It will change only format, and an impure pipe can change the value. can change the value. So example of pure pipes, we have all uppercase. So we have number, we have some slice. These are not changing the values. They are just changing the format of values. What about impure pipes? Impure pipe, we have a percent pipe. Percent pipe is changing the value. Am I right? It is not displaying the same value. It is changing the value. What else? Any another pipe which is changing the value? Slice is not changing the value. Values are not changed. No? Values are same. Slice is not changing the value. It is displaying only few values. A complete value is changed. The value is changed. The other pipes you learned yesterday, like I18N select pipe. Am I right? It is changing the message according to situation. We have I18N plural pipe. Date will not change the date. It will change only format of date. By applying date pipe, date will change. Date will change. Date will not change. Date format will change. If value is changing, then it is impure. Value is not changing. Format is changing. Right? That is the difference of pure and impure pipes. Right? So how do we configure the pipes and define the pipes? And here another option is, so what is the base class for pipe? So the base class for pipe is pipe transform. That is the base class for pipe. So technically, so what is the marker for pipe? What is the marker for pipe? So marker for pipe is @pipe. That is the marker for pipe. That is how you configure the pipes. These are very simple points. Only the major questions are, one is what is pure and impure pipes, and another chaining of pipes, another one parameterized. These are regularly asked questions related to pipes. At the end, I will post all the questions. You can check them, right, related to the, but remember, for every topic I am giving FAQ. Those all you put one at one place. That those are all interview questions and answers. That means you don't need to ask like at the end, we will get interview questions and answers. Because at every topic I am giving FAQ, what questions are asked in interviews. And if you can make them all at one place as a list, then you will get all interview questions answers. But some more additional questions I will post how they ask in interviews, right? This is about two concepts of Angular. One is Angular components, another one Angular pipes. Next important, we have Angular services. We have Angular services. Next very important is service. Now tell me, in a software technology, what is a service? Technically, in software technologies, what is a service? Actually, in software technologies, service is a predefined business logic. Service is a predefined business logic which you can implement and customize according to requirements. According to requirements. You can implement and customize according to requirements. That means you can use a service. You can use a service to extend the functionality of your application. So without writing the functionality, that is the point of service. A service allows to extend the functionality without writing the functionality. You don't need to write. That means actually service enables reusability. It enables maintainability. It enables testability. And it enables security. All these features will come with services. Reusability, maintainability, extensibility, testability, security, extensibility, all such things you can achieve. That is the concept of a service actually. So service is a predefined business logic. Actually, I will explain that point here. Generally, in more technical way, service is a set of factories. And factory is a set of values and functions. Service is a set of factories and factory is a set of values and functions. Suppose I will give you one example. Means actually what happens is generally we have some values and we have some functions. If we want to use these values in functions, actually some set of values and functions are kept at one place. We call this as a factory. Factory is a set of values and functions. Means similar type of values, similar type of functions are kept at one place. That is called as a factory. Now, these factories are injected into service. Service is a set of factories. There are several types of factories which are injected into one service. Now we can use this service in our project to achieve that particular functionality. That means you don't need to write these functions. You can just use them here. We can just use them there. For example, one real world example I will tell you. Suppose you are developing a website or an application, and in that you want a login form. What is the problem? What is the threat with login form? The threat with login form is generally robots can log in into our website. A robot can log in into our website. They can provide user ID, passwords. They can register, they can log in. How to prevent robots from login? To prevent robots from login, they use a concept called CAPTCHA. I hope you know that. CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is kept in every login form, registration form. Why? So why they do that? Actually, the concept is means why they do that. That means here, general point you need to understand. You know the meaning actually, right? The meaning is completely automated public turning test, tuning test, test, to tell, test, to tell computers and humans apart. That is the full form of CAPTCHA. Completely automated public tuning test to tell computers and humans apart. That is the meaning of CAPTCHA. That means it is a test conducted by robots, artificial intelligence robots, to tell whether the user is a human or a robot. And remember, CAPTCHA is an artificial intelligence program. It is an AI program. That artificial intelligence program will verify your keystrokes, means in which order you are typing. It will verify your mouse movements, and it will recognize that you are not a robot, because robots have a standard pattern of typing and a standard pattern of mouse movements. Robots have standard pattern, and CAPTCHAs are used to verify that you are a human or a robot. That means you say that you see CAPTCHA, they say I am not robot. How they say that you are not robot? Are they watching you? Then that means there may be some pattern for you. That means how you are typing, how you are selecting, based on that it verifies. Right? This is a very high level artificial intelligence program. Now you are developing a login form and you need a CAPTCHA. Now, will you write an artificial intelligence program? Then without that, how? Without that, how? You have to write an artificial intelligence program. But that is not in our reach. We can't do that. Then what we do? Somebody already written that program, and they provided that program. What we do? We take that program and we inject into our application. So if anybody asks, can you write logic for CAPTCHA? That is a wrong question, because CAPTCHA is not a logic to write. CAPTCHA is a service to use. And who provides such services? So many people are there. That means like Google provides CAPTCHA, Facebook provides CAPTCHA. So we have Twitter provides CAPTCHA, means they provide CAPTCHA code so that you can freely use it. Like other third parties, Telerik provides CAPTCHA. These all people provide CAPTCHAs. What is advantage is you don't need to write anything. Already they written, just put in your project. So that is called service. A service means what? It is having a ready-made functionality. Just you use it in your project and make your application better. That means to develop an application, you don't need to write everything. You can take help of component libraries. You can take help of services. Not only this, actually this is CAPTCHA service. Okay. For example, you are developing a website. In that website, user have to log in and watch your content. In order to log in, they have to register first. Then only they can log in. But user don't want to register. But without register login, we don't want to give access. Then we will tell one concept like, okay, don't register, then log in with your Gmail account. We will say that, so don't register, you can use your Gmail account to log in. Now, can you tell me what is this concept called as? Allowing user to log in with another email in our website. What this process is called as? What this technique is called as? allowing user to log in with his some other account into our website. What this process is known as? What this service is called as? Any idea? We call this concept as, we call that concept as OpenID. We call that concept as OpenID. OpenID means Google will provide open IDs. So Facebook will provide open IDs. OpenID means what? You can use Google account to log in other websites. That means that is a provided as a service. In real-time development, they ask this regularly. They say that you need to put OpenID in website. What do you mean by putting OpenID in website? That means allow the users to log in with their Gmail or with their Facebook accounts without registering. That is called OpenID. CAPTCHAs, OpenIDs, these are all services. These all are services. So you see, for example, I will show you Google have reCAPTCHA. This is Google reCAPTCHA. You see, this is Google reCAPTCHA. It says that reCAPTCHA is a free service. It is a free service. It is a free service that protects your site from spam and abuse. It says that we are providing a free service, you use it. That means now remember, for every technology it is different. You are learning Java, .NET, PHP, Python. In every technology, they provide separate library. That means you get started, there you tell which technology you belong to, they will provide the library for the technology. Java, Java library, .NET library, they will provide. You have to download that library and you have to put CAPTCHAs. You need to do that. So that is what actually the concept. So this is called as a service. What is the purpose of service? It enables reusability, easy to reuse. That means I want a CAPTCHA in login form, in registration form, in recover password, change password. Then everywhere you will write code for CAPTCHA? No. In every location, we will just inject that. Right? That is the concept of service. That means you just inject at one place, you can use from any. That is the point about service. We will see how. Very important actually. So I told you that factory is a set of functions and values. These factories are kept in what? Service. These are kept in a service. That means generally what is happening here is, so we have a factory. So we have a factory. Actually, factory have values and it have functions. Now, a set of factories are kept. A set of factories are injected into a service. Now we have an application. So here we have an application. In this application, we want to use these values and functions. Then what we do, we inject the service into our application and we will use it. Now the question asked is, why you can't directly inject this factory? Factory is also a collection of functions and values. Why can't you directly inject a factory and use it? Why you are injecting the factory into service and you are using a service? You want values and functions. They are already provided by a factory. Why you are not directly using? Why you are taking help of a service? That is one important question. That means actually, for example, means just one example I will tell you. You want to purchase a shoe. When you want to purchase a shoe, suppose you want to purchase a shoe from a shoe, suppose it is some Nike, and there is a Nike store in nearby to you. Why you are purchasing online? There is a Nike store just beside your home. Why you are purchasing online? That means it will provide some discounts, offers. You may be thinking like that, but they don't actually. You may be thinking like that, right? That is your way of thinking. They are making fools, right? Why? Because why they will give a discount? Are they doing social service? Huh? And then why they will give a discount? Nothing. Because they are giving a discount means that is manufactured 1 year back, that is manufactured 2 years back, that is not latest one. They are giving a discount means 100 to 100%. In business there is no discount concept. They are making fools of you, right? Why they will give half discount, 50% discount? That means they are doing social service. They are spending their money on you, and then they are doing that. That means they are delivering you a product which worth its discount cost only, and less than that actually. You are obviously giving more money than that to them. That is the reason people who are know about the genuine products, they always buy from the official stores only. They are always buy from official stores. When they know about the genuine products, they buy from official stores. So why? Because they know that these are all the things that happen there. So the concept of factory and service also similar. Actually, factory can be used directly. But what is problem with factory? Factory uses a mechanism called single call. Single call mechanism. Single call mechanism means you once called a function, it worked. You want to call the function again. Once, first time when you have to call a function, you have to create one object. Through that object, you have to call the function. That is finished. Second time I want same function. Again, you have to create one more object. Again, you have to call the function. That means every time in order to use a function, you need to create an object. That is the problem of factory. It uses which mechanism? Single call. Single call means every time to access a function, you need to create an object. But what is advantage of service? It uses singleton mechanism. It uses singleton mechanism. You might have learned singleton in Java.NET. What is a singleton pattern? Once object is created, the same object will be used across any number of requests. That means for a class, there can be only one object. That means you inject the service into an application once. You can use any number of times. That is the purpose actually. So without a service also you can directly use. But service uses which pattern? Singleton. So this question is very regularly asked in interviews. So factory uses single call mechanism. Single call mechanism where an object is created every time to access a function. And actually service uses a single ton mechanism. Singleton mechanism where object is created for very first request, and the same object is used across requests. That is what actually it can do. Service uses a singleton mechanism. It uses a singleton mechanism. This singleton mechanism allows to use the service easily. So without allocating memory every time, without creating an object every time, you can inject once and you can use any number of times. That is the concept of a service, right? And very important is actually service uses DI mechanism, dependency injection. It uses dependency injection. Service uses dependency injection. And another point, DI comprises of two components. One is provider, another one is injector. A service works with two major components. One is provider, another one is injector. Remember, these all points carefully remember, because sometimes for experienced level people, entire Angular interview happens only on service concept. That means 1-2 hours complete interview of Angular can happen on only service, because that is so complex and where so important it is. So lot of concepts are there here to ask. Why you need a service? Why not a factory? What is single call? What is singleton? And so what design pattern service follows? Service follows dependency injection design pattern. And what are the components of service? Service have two components. One is provider, another one inject. What is the role of that? Provider is responsible for locating the values or functions from memory. Locating from memory. Provider is responsible for locating the values or functions from memory. That means a provider verifies whether the requested value and function are there in the memory. That means it will search for which value you are trying to use. That means you are trying to use some value in your application. You are trying to use some functionality in your application. That functionality must be loaded into memory. And once the functionality is loaded into memory, it is located by a provider. What provider will do? It will verify where the functionality is present. If any function or any value is not located by provider, then immediately it shows a message saying that cannot locate the value. The value you are looking for cannot be located. That is provider error. Provider error. You observed yesterday when we learned material. You got a provider error. Which provider error? Date adapter provider error. It says that date needs a native date module, and that native date module is not found in memory because we haven't imported. If we haven't imported, it is not in the memory. Then who came to picture? Provider. Provider came to picture. Provider said that I am unable to find a module. That means you have seen the error. Have you seen the error carefully? The error says that no provider. No provider means it is saying that provider is unable to locate that module. That means whether it is available or not, first it will be verified by whom? Provider. After it is available, injector Injector is responsible. It is responsible for injecting the value into component. After locating the value, it should be injected into component. That work is done by what? Injector. It is done by injectors. So dependency injection is the pattern that is used by services, and the services will have two important components. One is provider, another one injector. Let's see here. You can actually Angular provides several built-in services. Angular provides several built-in services. Ready-made services are present, and also allows to create custom services. We can create our own services, just like pipes. Angular have its own services, and Angular also allows create our own services. Angular have built-in services. Angular built-in services, we have like HTTP client service. We have like routing services. So HTTP client services, we have like routing services. All these are built-in services. So here we have security services. So many ready-made services are present. These are categories. So built-in services are provided by Angular, like client services, HTTP client services, routing services, security services, and all. We will see them how to use these services, and we can create our own service. How to create a service? Let's see. Technically, how do we create a service and how do we use it? For example, let's try CAPTCHA like concept. For example, I want a random code to verify in every login screen, registration screen. For example, we see here, I think in our project, we have a login module. In our components, there is a login component. Yeah, there is some login component roughly. Let's keep this in the startup. In app module, I will keep the login component in the startup. Okay, in index, let's change this to app login. Now here, login. Yeah. Now this is a login component here. There is a login screen. Now what I want here is, I want a CAPTCHA, some random code. Below that password, I want to add some random code. So in that login component HTML, let's add another term and say verify code. And here we use a data definition. We want a code to verify there. Now for that, what we will do is, for displaying code, I want that code not only here, everywhere. In login, I want, in register, I want, in change password, I want, I recover password, I want, everywhere I want CAPTCHA, the random code to be verified. In that case, we will create a service. Let's see. I will add here a new folder in our project. I'm adding a new folder in our project by name services. We have components, we have contracts, we have pipes, we have service. In the service, we want to add a service. Service is a file. Actually, you can add a service, open in terminate. Manually you can add, or you can add using command ng generate service and service name I will give as CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is the service name, and skip test. That is the CAPTCHA service I am adding. Just you can see that file is added in services. You can see this is CAPTCHA, and you can see here it's a simple point. Manually also we can add that. And see here, injector, provider, these two play the main role. Injector and provider will play the main role. So service is also a class. And you can see this service class is marked with what? Injectable. This indicates that this can be injected. This can be injected in any application. In any application means in any component you can inject. Here you have a provided in root. I will tell you this point here. Actually, I will remove this here. I will remove this. That means you are having a service which can be injected. But the point here is where to locate for this service. Where to locate for this service in the memory. Actually, there are two techniques. One, the provider can be defined in the service itself. In the service itself, you tell where to locate this service. So, or you can tell about where to locate this service. Here also, you can see in app module, there is a provider. App module is also having a provider. That means you can write here. You can tell here where to locate that service. Now, if you write a service here, now what happens is service is injected at the time of loading application. At the time of loading application, service is injected. That is not good idea every time. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we want some services to get ready immediately at the time of loading app. But sometimes we want a service only when it is requested. That you decide. You want a service continuously from application start to application end, then register the service here. Register the service here. No, then you register the service here itself. A provider must be defined at service level or at app module level. Without provider, it will not work. For example, I am not providing here. I am not defining here. So we are not providing. I will tell you here. Suppose here we can simply mention which service to use. CAPTCHA service. That means now at the time of loading application, this service will be loaded so that you can access and use from any component. From any components. Let's do that now. So it is loaded at the time of loading. Now you don't need to mention a provider here. You just say injectable. Now in this service, we will create a method called public generate code. That is a method. This generate code is a string type method. So what you have to return? It should return a string. What string? It should return a random code. So we will write a JavaScript logic. In JavaScript, you have a math object. Math.random will generate a random number. In JavaScript, math object provides random which generates a random number. But random number actually starts with 0.7. So we will multiply with 10. Then it will be 1 or 2 or 3 like that. Okay. After like that, I will keep here several random numbers. That means A, B, C, D, E, F. So a 6-digit random number. I will use here where code is equal to, I will combine those random numbers. 6 combined 6-digit number. So we will use math dot round. Math dot round, because a random number sometimes gives fractions. We don't want that. Math dot round A. Similarly, math dot round space round B, and space round C, and space round D, and space E, and space F. This is a random number, and this random number must be returned. Return code. That is a service method. In a service, there can be several methods in a service. And what is that method? Generate code. Generate code. Now, what we want to do here, we want to use this service in our login component. Let's go to login component. In the components, let's go to login component dot ts. Here I want to use that service. In order to use, remember, service is a class. Many people think that we will create an object for the class and through that we will access the method. If you are creating an object for the class, then it becomes single call. Understood? You create an object for that class means it becomes a single call. Without creating an object, how you can access that? So what we have to do, we use a constructor. In the constructor, what we will do is, here we will write captcha, and it is of what type? Captcha service type. It is of captcha service type. This is of class type. We have to import that service and we need to create a reference. That means now what happened? This service is injected into your component at the time of creating component. In constructor you return. In constructor you return means at the time of creating an component object, this service is injected. Now it is injected at the time of creating component and you can use from anywhere. You can use any number of times. Any number of times. In many interviews, they ask this point specially. They will ask that why you are not creating an object for that class and using it. Why you are injecting in constructor. The point is simple. If you are creating an object, you are using single call mechanism. Why we are using service? Service main concept is to use singleton. And by injecting into constructor, we are implementing singleton mechanism. Singleton mechanism. So it is injected into your application. But one problem is there. This is accessible only in constructor. This is accessible only in that constructor, because you know that a parameter of constructor is not accessible outside. Right? A function parameter is accessed only in that function. It is not accessed outside. Then what you can do is, you can make this. I will show you here, because see, I will create public. So code is what type? String type, and it is of now empty. There is no code. We will write a functionality here. That means this class will use what implements on init. And we will write here ng on init. Ng on init. This dot code is equal to, I have to get the random code from this method. Understood? What is the method? Generate code. It is returning a string. I want to use that here. That you can access through captcha. That means I am accessing captcha. It is not available here. I am using this keyword. That captcha is not there. That means now how you will handle this? That is the specialty of dependency injection. You can make this with an access modifier private. If you make this with an access modifier private binds this with the current class and prevents access outside the class and gives access anywhere inside class. That means it prevents access outside the class and gives access anywhere inside the class. Private is not just restricting the member, but also allowing the member to use inside class. Many people ask like, can I use public? You can use public also, but I don't want to access outside the class. Then you have to make it as private. Once you make it private, it makes the scope of this member to only this class. Then what happens now? You can see now through this, I can access CAPTCHA. And this CAPTCHA can be accessed this generate code, which will return a random code. And this code we will display in HTML of login. In login HTML, here we will display what is it code. That means, see, there is a lot of logic for random number to generate a random number. This all we are not writing, just we are using only one line here. Understood? What is that line? We are just injecting that service and using it. In a registration form, you want inject and use. That means into registration constructor, inject this and access that method and use it. Now you see now here you can see, so there is a random number. I click on refresh. Once you see another number will come. It is generating a random. Of course, you can put buttons, functionality. Suppose you see where here I added a button. So in that button, I am adding a span. In that class, I will give class BI, suppose arrow, circle, clockwise, something. Arrow clockwise is a button. And for this, we will put a class BTN. And you can see there is some arrow like this. And when I click on that button, it should reload some new code. Then what we will do for this button, we write a click. So new code, we will put that new code. And here we will write a function. What is that function? Sorry, not function, method. Yeah, public, what is it? New code. So it is a void type. And what this new code have to do, it have to generate the code again. Am I right? You can put in a method and call if you want reusability. Now you can see what happens when I click on this, a new code will be generated every time. A new random code will be generated every time. This is not CAPTCHA, right? Don't think that we written CAPTCHA. So we just implemented such concept using a topic of service. Right? We are not doing any CAPTCHA here, just that logical idea we got here. That means without writing the logic, you just inject it anywhere you want. That is a predefined service advantage. This is very helpful everywhere now. Suppose you are working with APIs and lot of data related logic you have to write in every component. Then you can put in one service and you can inject that into your components. That is how we can manage. This is a built-in service actually. This is a built-in service. Now see the interesting part. Provider is defined here in app module. In app module, I am not using this CAPTCHA service. I am not using that CAPTCHA service. Now see what happens, error. See the error, inspect. In the inspect, you can see the error in the console. Let's check what is the error. Error is see null injector, no provider. This is the same problem you got previously, am I right? And see the interesting point here. So it shows that node injector factory, component factory. Anywhere am I using factory like concept? No, but internally it is using the word factory because it knows that service is a collection of factories, right? So many times, remember, majority of any Angular tutorial, you will not see the word factory. Anybody talking about factory. Officially, you will not see the word at all. But Internally, architecturally, there is a concept of factory. Nobody about Angular talking about factory anywhere. But you will have a factory concept. It is spoken by the people who are working at architecture level. Right? So the factory is missing. That means having some problem now. Now see what happens. You don't need to register here. You can define at service level itself. Here in injectable, to that injector, you tell here provided in at which location, root level. That means you can see provided in is an option. We have options like root. We have option like any and platform. Three options are there. What is difference between three? I will tell you. One is root. Root means search for this service in application level memory. Application level memory means entire application. Platform means search for this only in this module. Actually, in an application, you can have several modules, which you will learn in next level. We can create modules also. That means, suppose you saw bank application, personal banking, NRI banking. Personal banking is one module. NRI banking is another module. You can have service for every module independent. Now, if you want this service to work only for specific module, then you have to use platform. If you want to use only for this application, entire application anywhere, then you have to use root. You want this service to be used outside this application. That means some another project also can access it. Then you have to mark it as any. Any means you can access this service outside this project. Root means you can access this only inside the project. Platform means you can access only a module inside the project, not everywhere in the project. That depends how you define. At application level means what you have to give root. Now see what I am giving root now. Provider is there now. Now you can see it is again working fine. You give the provider here or you define the provider in app module. What is difference of mentioning provider in a service? This will be located only when it is required. This is lazy loading. Understood? Lazy loading means it will load your service into memory only when it is needed. The previous one is eager loading. You are loading in app module. That means even it is not in use, it is in the memory. That is eager loading. Some services we want to get ready at the time of loading application, because we have to use from different places of application. Then we can go with the concept of what? Eager loading. We have lazy loading, another one eager loading. So this is one concept of a service. Providers. Provider, you write the provider at service level or you define it app module level. Okay. Now, once you know this, now we will use our own services. Our own services. These are own services only. Built-in services. Built-in services like HTTP client, routing, and other services. You have several validation services. Forms validation services are there that we'll see in next session. Monday we will do that. Okay. These all example I will upload into Classroom, right? And Monday we will discuss about how do we deal with built-in service, connecting with APIs using, instead of fetch, now we will use the service